Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message.
And this is what it feels like.
This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be a kid just like us.
He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's who I am. When I step on the field, I
Hey,
send
Keith.
one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You haven't worked in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it?
Let's go.
Let's go, let's go. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, kyokradio.org, and on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Glad to be back. It's Winning Wednesday, and I know a lot of folks are talking about the winning that's going on at the Olympics. Another day, another world record gone. And in the same event that gave me one of the most excitement I've seen in a track and field race in a long time. The 400-meter hurdles on the women's side was as exciting as it was on the men's side because you had a young lady by the name of Sydney McLaughlin who broke the world's record and won the gold for the USA. Great race because right behind her, Delilah Muhammad got the silver and was right there step for step. In fact, down the stretch, I'd say over the last two hurdles, looked like Muhammad was ahead. And McLaughlin hit another gear that gave her not only the win, but the world record and the gold medal. So good stuff on the track last night. Very, very excited for our women in Team USA track and field. Also, got to give love to Tanya Mensah Stock. Became the first Black woman to win an Olympic medal in wrestling. And not only did she win one, she took the gold. She took the gold. Congratulations to her. Another proud moment for Team USA. And then the women's basketball team has not lost a game in pool play since they've been having them. They didn't lose one the last night, early this morning, whatever you want to say. 79-55, they knocked off Australia. And now they are waiting for Serbia in the semifinals to hopefully take them out and win it would be gold medal number 8 in a row in the Olympics. I like it. Good stuff. Again, we want to keep in prayer none other than Raven Saunders. Her mother passed away while over in Tokyo. And we want to keep that young lady in prayer. One of only 3 women for the United States to ever medal in the shot put. And again, really want to keep her lifted in prayer. Again, that's just tough. And we find out that Simone Biles has been dealing with a death in her family. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the show. I've got special guests that's going to be joining me today. Got none other than Johnnie Cole. I call him Coach. I call him Frat. I call him all of that. Former head coach of the Texas Southern University, led them to a SWAC championship, and just excited to have him on. He'll be coming on in about a little bit less than 10 minutes. And then in the second hour, Dr. J, Jennifer Thibeaux, we'll have her on. We'll talk about Simone Biles, what she did by coming back on the balance beam, taking all the twists out of her routine so she didn't have any issues with what they call the twisties in the business, where she loses sight of where she is and could possibly land wrong and seriously hurt herself. But, again, we'll talk about all of that when she hits the show. And then, of course, we got NBA free agency to talk about and a lot more. So if you want to get in on this Winning Wednesday, do it. 281-453-1000. 281-453-1000. Text me 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Or email me, aj@kylksports.com. I guess we got to talk about the Cleveland Browns since y'all came so hard for me yesterday after the show.
I'm Jacqueline Carr, and here is your winning strategy. God has given some of you visions. He has given you ideas or inventions. But if you choose to sit on the visions, before you know it, somebody will come along with the same plan and execute it. The Wright brothers became the first to fly airplanes in the world. God didn't only have them in mind when he gave the vision. He had in mind generations to come. When you activate the winning thoughts that you have, it will make a difference in people's lives everywhere. A great number of successful people you see did not always have success or money they have now. The success they have today started with an idea. Your thoughts alone can and will bring increase to your house if you pursue them.
The JCPenney Mystery Sale is back. How much will you save? Shop Thursday through Sunday, and you could get an extra 30, 40, or even 50% off with in-store coupon giveaway. Save on brands like Arizona and Exertion. Plus, discover our new kids brand, Thereabouts. Styles designed with every kid in mind. Plus, shop extended store hours, smart shopping, and surprise savings. JCPenney. Offer valid 8/5 to 8/8. Giveaway in stores only. While supplies last. Must be 18 or older. Some exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110. Guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify.
800-298-0139. 800-298-0139. 800-298-0139. That's 800-298-0139.
Hello, this is Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President of the Communication Workers of America District 6. Trey and I are inviting you to listen in to our new political talk show, Power to the People Political Hour.
Hello, this is Trey Daniels from the Daniels Group. Yes, Claude, the show will be hard-hitting and informative, talking about national and local political issues of the day, week, and month. Interviews will be with pastors, community leaders, elected officials, and political operatives. You know, Claude, a part of our responsibility is informing the citizenry and give them power to the people.
That's right, Trey. We're asking that you listen in on 1140 AM, 92.3, or streaming on KYOKradio.org, Thursdays at 10 a.m. You got to give the people time. Give the people what they want.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
You're listening to the lunch break on KYOK. You heard?
All right, y'all. We are back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Winning Wednesday, and again, looking forward to having some winners on the show today. Talking about another winner, Keith Hennig. I mean it, man. Raven Rogers did an amazing job. Raven Rogers did an amazing job, and I am so proud of her. If you're not following her on social media, I don't know what to tell you because she is definitely a great follow. You got to follow her on Instagram. Let's see. Trying to get it up here. All right. You can follow her at Ray Alex, RAEALEX 35. Ray Alex, RAEALEX 35. And I absolutely love what she posted. Can I read it? Let me read it, courtesy of her Instagram page. It says, I'm absolutely lost for words. My first Olympic team and first Olympic medal. It still hasn't settled in how much hard work it took to get to this point. Coming from a family of hard workers, it's like you put your head down to work hard and you look up later. But I'm so grateful to have enjoyed this experience to the fullest, getting the absolute most out of it I could while enjoying myself as your new Olympic bronze medalist. Thank you, God. I am so proud of her because she had to come back from the back of the pack. You know, the phenom out of A&M took the gold. I think Mew took the gold. But Raven, like, literally walked some folks down to get that bronze. And I'm uber proud of her. If y'all don't remember, leading up to the Barcelona Olympics, in the Olympic trials, she got caught up in a pileup. Somebody fell, and she was on the wrong side of the pile and ended up not qualifying for the Olympics. And let me tell you something. Raven just worked her butt off. She didn't complain. She didn't make excuses. She worked her butt off. Had great things happening. Went overseas, ran, got put up on the track tower over the field where she had many amazing moments as the indoor and outdoor 800-meter champ. NCAA. Yeah, I was very proud of her. And then to get there, do what she did, run through all the prelims, the quarters, the semi, and then come from the back of the pack to make sure she got on that medal podium. So proud of her. So proud of her. And we're gonna be shouting her out, man. We're gonna be shouting her out. I gotta give a lot of love. Her mother's birthday was yesterday. Gotta give a lot of love to her aunt Mary Young, the chief of police at Texas Southern University. I see a theme going on, TSU. So anyway, man, Keith, thanks for giving her that love, man. Thanks for giving her that love. I'm definitely going to make sure that gets up the chain and gets over to her. But good stuff happening in the Olympics. I said yesterday, I'll say it again today, Olympic track and field is in good hands. Olympic track and field is in good hands. I'm still trying to, reach out to former Olympians, current Olympians to try and get them on the show. It's not always a first time you call, you get the okay. So as soon as we get some promises, we'll start scheduling those. All right, so I got to get ready to take a break, but before I do, what is going on with y'all in Cleveland? Like, this is Houston, Texas. And I know I got a bunch of people from Ohio that listen to me and what have you. And I appreciate it. That's where I was born. reared. I spent most of my summers in Darrow, Louisiana with my grandparents. But, Forest Park is where it went down. So let me ask you this. Is Ohio Cleveland State, or is it the Cincinnati Bengals? Because if I'm not mistaken, the Bengals have been to 2 Super Bowls. The Browns, how many? How many Super Bowls have the Cleveland Browns been to? How is everybody like getting on me about saying that Cleveland at best is going to be the 3rd in the AFC North? I'm not understanding it. I'm not understanding it. I mean, let me dig my hole a little deeper real quick. If any other team in the AFC had the kind of roster that Cleveland has, let me say that right. Any other team not named the Jets, not named Denver, the Giants, not name a team like that, we're having a whole different conversation. I mean, Cleveland is all right, but let's just call it what it is. Your boy Baker has had an amazing roster for a couple of years. And I know Willie Gibson, hit me up with changing offensive coordinators, head coaches, and all that kind of stuff. That's part of the game. That's part of the game. They got the right head coach now. They got the right OC now. Yeah, he's got some continuity. But I'm sorry, give Ben Roethlisberger that roster. Give Big Ben those weapons. I ain't saying Juju Smith-Schuster's trash. Not saying that at all. But Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr., a running game with Chubb and Hunt. Pittsburgh was last running the football last year. Give them one of those running backs. And maybe they don't go 11-1. Maybe they go 12-0 before they lose their first game. I'm just saying, man, I'm sorry. I'm glad y'all are pro Cleveland Browns. Let me just lay the gauntlet down on this show. The Cincinnati Bengals still own Ohio for pro football. Browns ain't done enough yet consistently to claim that. And how many Super Bowl victories do they have? Somebody hit me with them. I'll wait. How many do the Bengals have? None. But they've been there twice. Joe Montana don't hit John Taylor, Jerry Rice as a decoy. And don't get me going with some of the personal stuff that happened off the field with the Bengals. Just saying, man. Oh, what short memories we have. 2 winning seasons. 2 winning seasons under Baker Mayfield, and we ready to crown. What did Dennis Green say? They are who we thought. If you want to crown them, crown them. If y'all want to crown Cleveland the pro football gods of Ohio, do it. Still don't get above 3rd in my preseason rankings for the AFC North. Sorry. Got to take a break. Be right back right after this on the lunch break. At me, call me, text me, whatever you got to do. I got time today. I got time today. I'm waiting on my special guest, but I got time today. All right. We're on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Be right back.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you? Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book.
yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-219-8332. 800-219-8332. 800-219-8332. That's 800-219-8332.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-958-2156. 800-958-2156. 800-958-2156. That's 800-958-2156.
Tune in to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
In need of tires? Check out OMG Tire Services and more. New and used tires, all the name brands you desire. Located at 3126 Tidwell, between 59 North and Jensen. Give them a call at 832-767-3211. Top-notch service from beginning to end. When you're done, get your car hand-washed inside and out at OMG Tire Services and more. Located at 3126 Tidwell, between 59 North and Jensen. Call 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located on the north side.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Todd Delaney, and right now you're listening to the Lunch Break Sports Talk Show with AJ.
All right. Appreciate you, Todd Delaney, and thanks for giving us that drop right there. Yeah, Keith Hennig said the Browns have been to several Super Bowls. They got primo 50-yard line tickets. I mean, you know, pretty much. I mean, seriously, I'm not here to hate on the Browns. I'm not here to hate on them. And again, on paper, it looked great. When are they going to put it all together? I mean, 11-5 last year. Great job. You know, a call away from, what are we saying? The AFC representation in the Super Bowl? Is that what we're going with? Okay. But they didn't get there. I mean, I can't say the Saints were going to win the Super Bowl if they didn't have that blown pass interference call. I can't say that. They've got to put it all together. I mean, we got back-to-back winning seasons by Cleveland. I can't believe we're spending all this time talking about it. I really don't. I mean, I get it. They're stacked on paper. They were stacked on paper last year and barely beat the Texans. I mean, again, I'm not trying to crush Anthony Weaver, but if he has any kind of defensive game plan that worked, they lose that game. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I concede that the Cleveland Browns are the best team there ever was and the best team there ever will be. Cleveland Browns are going to win the Super Bowl for the rest of time. I mean, until we make it to Jupiter, Cleveland Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. Fair enough? You got it? Y'all. I just don't understand, what the deal is. Let me. I don't know why I'm even getting ready to do this to myself. I got time. Let me see. Cleveland Browns. Where's their wiki? No, I don't want to donate money to Wikipedia. Get out on the corner and earn it. Get one of those cans and shake that bad boy and get people to give you donations. I can't do it. I'm just trying to hurry up and see what they're. All right, so before the NFL AFL merger, the Browns won the championship back in 1950, 1954, 1955, and 1964. They won conference championships in the NFL American League in 1950, 51, and 52. And then in the NFL Eastern Division, they won it in 53, 54, 55, 57. See the trend here? 67, 65, 68, and 69. The last time that they made the playoffs before last year was 2002. 18 years between playoff appearances. But yet, they the best thing going in the AFC. Forget Kansas City, forget forget Buffalo, forget Pittsburgh, Baltimore, forget them. It's all Cleveland, baby. It's all Cleveland. What's Longhorn Key says, all gas, no brakes. It's all Cleveland, baby. Can I look at their record from last year, maybe? Let me look at their record. Maybe that'll help me. Is there a possibility of looking at their record? History. I don't want that. Logos and uniforms, player notes, coaches of note, references. There's got to be a better way to get here. Let me get off Wiki. If y'all quit begging for money and made the stuff easy to find, you might be all right. Quit begging for the cash, Wiki. All right, here we go. Cleveland. I know people are mad at me because I'm like dumping on their Cleveland Browns. Who knew that the fan base down here in Texas was pro Browns? Browns records. All right, I'm looking because this is uber important to my listenership. I mean, the text messages I got. All right, here we go. Yeah, year by year results for the Browns because it's a big deal. What year you want me to go to? Where do I stop? 2020, they were 11-5. 2019, I ought to throw this phone out the window. I ought to throw this phone out the window. Y'all, you know what? This is amazing to me. Keith, you like the only one with me right now. Somewhere Willie Gibson is saying, got him. I got him. Because last year they were 11-5. The year before that, 2019, they were 6-10. 2018, they were 7-8. 2017, they were 0-16. 2016, they were 1-15. 2015, they were 3-13. See where I'm going? 2014, they were 7-9. 2013, 4-12. 5-11, 4-12, 5-11, 5-11, 4-12. Last time they had a winning record before last year, 2007, when they were 10-6. Y'all got me. I got punked, didn't I? There's cameras around here. I'm looking in a camera. Y'all did this on purpose. All right, let's do this. Just for fun, let me go and pull up the Cincinnati Bengals records. What did I say, 2007? Last time they had a winning record before last year? 2006? Hold on. This is going to be funny. Bengals season records. All right, here we go. You ready? I can't read this. All right, here we go. Cincinnati Bengals. Last year, 2020, we know what happened there. They were 4-11. 2019, 2-14. 2018, 6-10. 2017, 7-9. 2016, 6-9-1. And then watch this. 2015, 12-4. 10-5-1, 11-5, 10-6, 9-7. 2010, they were 4-12, but before that, they were 10-6 in 2009. Yeah. Tell me again how the Browns are running Ohio. I get it, man. They got a great team on paper. They got some players. Their roster is stacked. When you look at that offense, you look at the weapons that Baker Mayfield has, you look at their head coach, you look at their team. I think they've got one of the sharpest general managers, vice president of football operations in the game. On defense, they're not bad. And didn't they just pick up Jadeveon Clowney? Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, let's play. Let's go. Let's get it. Strap up. Let's go. One winning season since 2007, and you want me to just give up the whole state? Y'all, AJ, you're a hater? Nah, I ain't. Nah, stats matter. Results matter. Y'all are closer to the Jets than y'all are to the Bengals. I'm just saying. And even they've had more winning records since then. So it's Winning Wednesday, and I just, winning matters, man. You can't just do it one season and expect everything to, everybody to just respect you. It's the whole Baker Mayfield shtick. You come out and you dance and you point at people and you stare them down. You talk about other people's money and, you're doing all the antics and everything in between plays. And you got one winning record. Very high upside. But, man, let me go ahead and pour gas on this fire. I'll take Josh Allen over Bake Show. I will. Give Josh Allen that offensive roster and see what he can do. And give Baker Mayfield the Bills roster and see what he can do. I don't think that the results would be the same. I think Josh Allen could do 11-5 with the roster that Cleveland had. I'm not sure if Baker Mayfield could go 13-3 with the roster that Buffalo had. So, all right, let me leave this alone. It brings up something that I want to do today, though. Who's the starter? That's it's not a game, even though it's Winning Wednesday. I'll give you a family 4-pack to the Children's Museum, Houston, and some barbecue from Dickey's. But who's the starter? There are a couple of teams where the starter is locked. You know who it's going to be. Cleveland, you know Baker Mayfield's going to be the starter. Buffalo, you know Josh Allen's going to be the starter. Baltimore, you know Lamar Jackson is going to be the starter. But if you're interested in just playing for fun, hit me up, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. Again, I'll give you a family 4-pack to the Children's Museum, Houston. They're going to be open until September. You can get away and let the kids go out and play. Or, and I'll give you some barbecue from Dickey's Barbecue, free barbecue. Call me, and I got a couple of teams, and I want you to tell me who's the starter at quarterback. All right? 281-453-1000. I'll take the first person that calls, or if you can't call and you got to text me, hit me up. As long as I'm communicating with you, I'll get you the stuff. All right, let me take this break. I'll be right back right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Pressure or diabetes? Are you over the age of 65 and covered by Medicare? Then pay close attention to this message. Medicare has introduced some new benefits to help consumers during these cautious COVID-19 times. They realize many of you don't want to leave your home to visit a doctor. So now you can get a remote patient monitoring device shipped to your home at little or no cost to you. Now your doctor can identify your problems in real time, which could potentially save your life. Victory Medical can easily ship this monitoring device directly to your home at little or no cost to you. If you have high blood pressure or diabetes and you're covered by Medicare, make this free call right now to see if you qualify for a new remote patient monitoring device. Call now.
800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. That's 800-213-9527.
Do you have a home that you don't want anymore? We can buy it from you within 24 hours, any home, size, or condition. For over 20 years, we've been buying homes for cash and helping homeowners sell their homes immediately, with no listings or strangers walking through your home. Are you moving? Did you lose your job? Going through a divorce? Whatever the reason, if you're in a bind and you know that you need to sell your house fast, call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. We'll make you a serious cash offer to buy your home in 24 hours and let you walk away from it. No listing, no waiting. Sell any home, any size, any condition now. Call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. Make this free call now.
800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. That's 800-306-1760.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
This is Tamara Fuentes.
And Teddy Stevens with Chosen Hoops.
And we're at KYOK at the lunch break with AJ Jones, the number one and only.
Yeah.
Hey, you should.
All right. Appreciate them for that drop right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Yeah, y'all got my mind playing tricks on me with this whole Cleveland thing. I just can't. Let me go to the phone line. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, it's Keith Hennig.
Keith Hennig, caller of the year 2020. How you do, man?
Doing well, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Keith, the Cleveland thing aside, and I don't even know where that came from, but I noticed on my phone I had like a bunch, and I mean a bunch of messages coming at me about how I rated the Cleveland Browns. Out of all the teams, that one was the most challenged. And I'm like, huh? Like, wait, what? So I don't know, man. I don't know. But that aside, I want to do something called Who's the Starter? We know a couple of teams who the starter is going to be. In fact, you're an NFC guy. We know Tom Brady is going to start for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right?
Correct.
All right. Who's going to start for the New Orleans Saints, though?
To my chagrin, it appears to be Taysom Hill. I think that's a huge mistake and a judgment and an error in judgment for Sean Payton. Jameis Winston should clearly be the starter in New Orleans, but I think Taysom Hill's going to get the nod.
Yeah, I think you're right, but for the sake of the game, I'm going to go against you. So we're going to write these down, and we'll see what happens come opening Sunday. You've got in New Orleans, Keith Hennig and AJ. I'm doing it like we're playing spades. New Orleans, you got Taysom, and I've got Jameis. All right, fair enough. And then let's go into there's no other guesswork. Chicago, who's going to be the starter?
That is a great question. One that I'm not sure I can answer. Trubisky's gone.
So it's either going to be Andy Dalton or Justin Fields.
I think they should give Justin Fields a nod.
All right, you're going Justin Fields. I'm believing that the coaches and the powers that be in Chicago are thrown off enough to go Andy Dalton. So I'm going Andy Dalton there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go Green Bay. Their situation got settled. We know who's going to be the starter there. Vikings, we know who's going to be the starter there. Lions, we know they didn't bring in your guy from the Rams to sit him, so nothing happening there. Washington football team, we know who's going to start there. New York Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, we know who's going to start there. So now we are going out west. San Francisco 49ers, who's the starter?
Trey Lance.
Keith Hennig says Trey Lance. I'm going Jimmy G.
They have a lot of money invested in Jimmy G. I have to agree with it. Jimmy G's going to start, but he's not going to finish.
I don't think he's going to finish the season either. I don't. In fact, I wish that he would play lights out so he can make it, kind of like the Aaron Rodgers situation. Y'all tried to get rid of me, and I went out and won the whole doggone league MVP. But I don't think that's going to happen for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll go with Jimmy G as a starter, but I think by week 4, you're going to see a change.
All right, let's go over to the AFC side. New England Patriots. Who's the starter?
Cam.
I think you're right. In fact, somebody that was at camp said that, I don't know where the quarterback battle is because Cam is clearly QB1. So, Keith Hennig, you say Cam, I say Cam. All right, we're both the same on that one. All right, nobody else in question over there in the AFC East. In the AFC North, no issues there. AFC South, Houston Texans, who's the starter?
I think we're going to see by September, I think we're going to see Deshaun Watson.
Okay. I'm going with Tyrod Taylor. I think that there's I think there's so much going on behind the scenes. Like, I don't think that Deshaun was in practice yesterday, not because of some injury, but one of the accusers went on television, local television, and was very graphic about her experience with Deshaun. And I really think that they pulled him to avoid that backlash from us in the media.
Oh, this poor young man is getting shafted every which way but south. It's just terrible.
So, yeah, I feel like he's going to be gone before he even gets a chance to start. Indianapolis Colts, now that they've got some about 5 to 12 weeks to wait on Carson Wentz, who's the starter?
Carson Wentz is gone. Kobe is gone.
Jacob Eason, Sam Ellinger, Todd Huntley. Not Todd Huntley. What's his name? Used to play for the Green Bay Packers.
I remember him, and Sam Ellinger starting in the NFL.
Isn't that crazy?
Doesn't work for me. God, that's a toss-up. What say you?
I'm going with Jacob Eason. They seem to be real high on him, and they literally said that they're not going to bring in another quarterback because they feel like the guys that they have can get the job done for the period of time. Brett Hundley, thank you, one of the listeners.
Brett Hundley, yeah.
Yeah, Brett.
That's his name.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, any coach right now would be saying, oh, yeah, we believe in our guys, because you don't want to say you don't believe in the guys going into training camp. I think Eason is going to get the start if Carson Wentz is not ready to go.
Okay. Oh, Carson Wentz is not going to be ready to go this year. I don't think. They're talking about 12 weeks. I think they'll have a secure number one, QB1 by then. Carson Wentz is going to have to work his way back into the lineup.
So then your choices would be Eason or Ellinger.
Boy, that is
I know that's scary.
back room. That is a pathetic
Frank Reich, baby. Frank Reich.
They should suit him up. He'd be a great starter. I'll go with Eason on that one too.
All right, you going with Jacob Eason on that one as well. All right, let me go back to who else we got. No issues down there in Jacksonville. Let's go to the AFC West. Broncos. Who's the starter?
Drew Lock.
I think you might be right, Keith. I want to say it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater.
No, they've got so much money invested in
Right.
Drew Lock.
Right.
They gotta put him out there and see what he can do.
Yep. And that's why I say you're right. I believe he's going to be the starter. So here's what we got. In New Orleans, you've got Taysom. I got Jameis. Chicago, you've got Justin Fields. I've got Andy Dalton. San Francisco, you went with Jimmy G. I got Jimmy G. New England, you said Cam. I said Cam. Houston, you said Deshaun. I said Tyrod. And Colts, we both said Eason. And then Denver, you said Drew Lock. I'm going to, against my emotions, going to lean towards Drew Lock. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some tickets. I'm sure you got somebody who wants to take their little ones to the Children's Museum of Houston. They're open now till September. I'll send you a family 4-pack there and then get you some barbecue that you can chew on while they are taking their kids to the Children's Museum. I'll send those out to you. You heard Todd and Longhorn Keith talking about the Longhorns in the Big 12 and in the SEC. What are your thoughts about this whole deal?
I think if the Longhorns actually make this move to the SEC, they're going to disappear from the face of the earth. They won't be able to recruit anybody in the SEC. They need to stay put in the Big 12. That's the only hope they have of winning.
You know, it's interesting because that word recruiting seems to come up. I've been kind of following some of the writers to cover the Longhorns and what have you, and everybody is banking on, like, the recruiting is it. Man, if that doesn't work out, what do you guys got left?
Nothing. If I'm an 18-year-old high school kid and I have my choice between the University of Texas, LSU, Auburn, Alabama, I'm not going to Texas. Are you kidding me? I might go to A&M, but they're not going to do much either.
I mean, I get that a few of the recruits have said, it's because of the conference you play in, but I just don't know if the floodgates are going to automatically swing open and all these kids are going to decide to stay in Texas and go to UT and because they're now in the SEC. especially if they're not winning in the SEC.
Absolutely, and I am not a fan of Sark. I am underwhelmed with his career record, and I think this move is a very, very bad idea.
I'm trying to like him. I really am. I'm trying to like him, and I feel like
it too. But the reality is, I'm a homer. I'm a UT Longhorn fan. However, I understand football, and they are playing way over their heads in the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody wants it more for UT than me because, like I said, I really want this to work out so that they can just shift the power from the NCAA to the conference. And then, like I said, the day after it's done, when the NCAA closes their doors and they're doing something different, I'm going to automatically hate the SEC. The Big 12 and the Pac-12 are reportedly talking about merging. What are your thoughts about them doing that?
Well, what's it going to be? 2 superpowers, and that's going to run the whole country? Is that their idea? There are so many HBCUs, so many Division I schools that deserve a shot in the Big 12. I don't know what anybody's doing.
You know, what's interesting is if the Pac-12 and the Big 12 merge, I would not be surprised if the Big 10 didn't try and merge with either the AAC or, watch this, the ACC because of the loss of Clemson and Florida State. I wouldn't be surprised if we have 3 major power conferences instead of the Power 5 after this is all said and done.
I completely concur. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's not going to make for very good football.
And you're probably right, but it'll be different. It'll be different.
It will be different. That is true.
Yeah, they'll thumb their nose at Mark Emmert and the good folks up there in Indianapolis.
Right. They will.
Yeah. Keith, I appreciate you as always, man. Again, I'll get that out to you probably later on today. And be sure and bless somebody with it for me, okay?
I will do that. Appreciate your time today, AJ. Thank you.
Always a good call with you, Keith. Always a good call. Talk to you soon, man.
You too. Thank you. Take care.
You too. Keith Hennick, Caller of the Year 2020. Some interesting, when you think about these teams that have quarterback battles going on, I mean, who's going to be the quarterback? And, the Houston Texans are one of those teams where, I want to know who's going to be the quarterback. Who's going to be the quarterback? So, looks like my guest got held up. So we'll get ready to push into the second hour and hear from none other than Dr. J, Jennifer Thibeaux. So y'all stay right there. We'll be talking with her in just a little bit. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on here real quick with what you need to know on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
I hope I'm not too late. It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. President Biden and congressional Democrats locked in a stalemate over who bears responsibility for extending the federal eviction ban that lapsed over the weekend. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and fellow caucus leaders have ramped up pressure on Biden to renew protections amid surging cases. Pelosi and other Democratic leaders insisted that while Biden gave them little time to coalesce behind a bill, Republicans bore responsibility for the end of the CDC ban. Even if the House passed an extension, it was unlikely to win the support of the 10 GOP senators needed to make it to Biden's desk.
New York City will require proof of vaccination for leisure indoor activities at restaurants and gyms, becoming the first major city in the U.S. to do so. Mayor Bill de Blasio made the announcement Tuesday morning. The program, also known as the Key to NYC Pass, will be implemented mid-August during a transition period before it will be fully enforced beginning the week of September 13th. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Ball is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football, no. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this holler, we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. So much crying from him. He's a man. They can be a kid just like us. He's a man. Go hard to make the big money. He's a man. I'm proud when you step on the field, man. That's who I am.
When I step on the field,
I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had to work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, that's his first hour on the books, second hour underway here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, kyokradio.org, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm AJ Jones, and again, in this hour, we want to celebrate Sydney McLaughlin, set the world's record and won the gold medal in the women's 400-meter hurdles, 51.46. That blows my mind that they can run one lap around the track over hurdles faster than most people can run one lap around the track minus hurdles. I mean, unbelievable. And Delilah Muhammad came in second with the silver. Also, big shout out to Tamira Mensah Stock, first black woman to win a medal in wrestling for the United States, and she won the gold. Congratulations to her. Very great representation of our great nation. Women's U.S. basketball team beat Australia 79-55. They await Serbia in the semifinals. The women have not lost a full round game since they start having them. That's what I'm talking about. I know the men Carmelo Anthony on his way to the Lakers. Lakers have not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, but 8 players, 32 years of age and up. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see. We will see. That's crazy that Russell Westbrook is like the 3rd or 4th youngest player on the team at 32. That's crazy. DeMar DeRozan is reportedly working on a deal to leave the Spurs and go to the Chicago Bulls. See if that works out for him. If it does happen, he will be the third major player to leave. DeRozan would be gone. Patty Mills is on his way to Brooklyn, and Rudy Gay on his way to Utah. So, Coach Pop, man, he's about to have a serious youth movement going on in San Antonio. Deshaun Watson was not at practice yesterday. They said that Coach Culley said that there was nothing wrong. It was a scheduled day off for the quarterback, even though they were in pads for the first time. We'll see. I'll be out of training camp tomorrow. And then Dallas Cowboys are not going to play Dak Prescott tomorrow in the Hall of Fame game. They're going with their backup against Pittsburgh and their backup because Ben Roethlisberger will not play in that game either. And then the Astros beat the Dodgers 3-0. Same two teams tonight, just before 9 o'clock. The Rangers lost to the Angels 11-3. Same two teams tonight, just after 7. All right, quick sports update. Let me go to the phone line. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, Dre, how you feel?
With my hands, Doc. How you?
Oh, man, everything is beautiful in its own way. Oh, yeah, last time I checked, brother, much as I love LeBron James, much as I love him, man, all the time is undefeated.
Yes, sir.
So hopefully they have enough guys, you know, who haven't had a lot of wear and tear in their career that they can pull this thing off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Because I don't know. Again, I'm a LeBron James fan. As a broadcaster, sports, guy covers the games. I just love his body of work, man. I enjoy covering him. So I want LeBron to do well. I just don't know if this is the roster makeup for him to do it.
I mean, when you look at, the guys that's coming in, I mean, I like them. To me, anything is better than Koosman and KCP. The Nunn guy, Michael Nunn, whatever name is, he's coming in. He's a decent ball player. Then you got them other fill-in guys. So I think they'll be better off, man. But like you said, man, if I'm 35 and I'm going up against 22-year-olds on a nightly basis, but we'll see how it goes. But hey, man, don't you think Miss Richardson? She'd have had a few problems with them Jamaican sisters. I mean, what you say, Drake? Them Jamaican sisters was laying it down, brother, and they wasn't hardly jabbing.
Well, I'll say this: the Jamaican women and men came out of nowhere and dominated the sprint game or sprint races in track since 2008. I'm still trying to figure out how you just take over the whole sport. For this, was it 12, 13 years? That's a long time, Doc. What are they doing down there? I'm just asking.
It's easy. I mean, I listened to another show that have a lot of long-winded callers, but it's not rocket science to me. Anytime you from, let's say, Jamaica, but you go to the University of Maryland, or you're from Jamaica, but you go to the University of UCLA. When you learn everything, all our tactics, you take it back home, and then you're gonna represent your country with them. Bottom line, man, we teaching them too much.
But I guess that's where I gotta figure it out, because the issue that was between the main woman who won the 100 and the 200, Hera, is she left the coaching tree that the two other ladies are part of to do her own thing. And, now they got a little icy relationship going on. So I'm still trying to figure out how you just dominating the 100, the 2, and the Americans can't get nowhere near in there. What's happening, man?
Well, the late Florence Griffin Joyner, she said that when she trained, the people was want to know how did she get so fast? You know, so much faster than the girl Ever and Ashford and all them. She said she started working out with guys, man. I mean, you know, I don't know, you know, if that's the secret, because to me that's not a hard secret to keep. But how did you get so much faster? You know, they tested me, they taking me drug tests every other day, man. So definitely ain't no steroids, man. So I don't know what's going on, but all I know is Richardson, she'd have had some problems, brother, because they was calling her out too.
I mean, you know, but greatest, you know, you know, you and me, we didn't had a scuffle or two, not against each other, but you know, back in the day, we done bruised our knuckles. You know, a lot of people will call you out, but that don't mean they want you when you get there. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying, Shelly Ann Frazier, the sister that won the 100 and 200, them sisters picking them up and putting them down, brother. And the stage might have been a little bit too big for the youngster. I just can't see her. She might have would have got 4. Might have. You understand what I'm saying, Drake?
All I'm saying is her best time would have had her second at that meet. She would have had the silver. And when you got somebody pushing you like that, sometimes you reach down and you do what Sidney McLaughlin did, or you do what, you know, the young man from Norway did, Karsten Warholm. You know, every now and then that's the push that you need, because in every other race you've been so far out front, you ain't had nobody pushing you.
Well, as you know now, like you made a great point right there. A lot of times, them sisters, even the brothers, they be like in the first couple of weeks, they don't be going all right. Now they save a little bit because you can't show everything you got in that first race. And all I'm saying, brother, is when them finals would have came down, Richardson would have had some issues. I mean, that's just one brother's opinion. You know,
and I get it. I get it. And fortunately, we about to find out. You know, they're going to get a little time off after the Olympics, and then there's going to be some things happening where we're going to see something. And here's what I want. Here's what I want. Now, I'm not saying nothing. I don't want any of those ladies to not show up for any reason. I don't want to hear about travel schedule. I don't want to hear about you had to take time off, let your body rest. They did talk a lot of not them. The country of Jamaica and their social media followers talked a lot of noise. So my thing is, whatever the next big race is, if it's the Diamond Series, if it's the World Championships, be there. Be there. Either be there or be quiet.
I don't know how long it is for your commercial break. I think about this stuff when I call shows. I don't just be rambling because I know y'all got to pay bills. But I remember after the Sugar Ray Leonard Thomas Hearns fight, the very first one, I was about 20 years old, young and pretty and good looking. Now I'm old and ugly. But after the fight, Sugar Ray, what was the secret? How did you come out? I mean, what did you do? And he said, you better talk to Thomas Hearns. I proved myself. So them Jamaican sisters, they ain't got nothing to prove. You better ask Shakira Richardson what she gonna do with them Jamaicans. They waiting on her, brother. They waiting on her.
Okay, good. Well, I just want them to be there waiting at the same place at the same time. Don't have one wait on her overseas and then the other one waiting on her, you know, in the next 4 years or 3 years. I think they're gonna do the Olympics back on schedule next time in France.
Think about it too, Dre. Shelly Ann had a baby or two. She's still on top of her game since 2008. Sister that won the 100 and 200, she had a baby or two. Still on top of her game. So Richardson, you're going to have to come up with it. But let me end on this because I know the commercial's coming up, and I know my girl Donna Holtman is feverishly trying to get in. Hey, man, Deshaun Watson, man. Dre, you know what time it is, man. Why don't they go and just trade the brother, man? Because, it's obvious an uncomfortable situation, man. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Trade the brother, man.
Well, let me just say this. Nick Casario's job will be on the line if he does anything like what Bill O'Brien did to get DeAndre Hopkins out of here. So if Nick Casario doesn't get a certain amount of value back for Deshaun Watson, then his tail going to be out of here too. So I get why it hadn't happened yet, because just because you ask for something don't mean you're going to get it. But it's gonna come to pass. Let another top quarterback go down. Let another top quarter. I'm not asking for it.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for it. But let something happen to one of these quarterbacks in one of those areas where they've got some trade capital, and I promise you, it's gonna happen.
Well, last time I checked, this is America, and I thought you was innocent to prove guilty. So it seemed like they treating him like a chump. They treating him like he's a guilty man. Last time I checked, the man hadn't confessed to doing anything wrong, man. But,
Well,
that's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah, I got you, and I'm trying to stay away from the legal part of it, man, because I get in so much trouble now. I believe every woman who accuses someone of sexual assault or sexual abuse, every man or woman should be heard out. They should have their day in court, and I'm gonna stick with that.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Nothing like Andre and me. Rumble, young man, rumble.
I appreciate you, greatest. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110. Guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify.
800-298-0139. 800-298-0139. 800-298-0139. That's 800-298-0139.
Hello, this is Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President of Communication Workers of America District 6. Trey and I are inviting you to listen in to our new political talk show, Power to the People Political Hour.
Hello, this is Trey Daniels from the Daniels Group. Yes, Claude, the show will be hard-hitting and informative, talking about national and local political issues of the day, week, and month. Interviews will be with pastors, community leaders, elected officials, and political operatives. You know, Claude, a part of our responsibility is informing the citizenry and give them power to the people.
That's right, Trey. We're asking that you listen in on 1140 a.m., 92.3, or streaming on KYOKradio.org, Thursdays at 10 a.m.
Got to give the people time. Give the people what they want.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Happy birthday.
I meant to do the birthdays. Let me go ahead and do those now. Let me go ahead and do these birthdays right now. I meant to do them at the end of the first hour, but of course, we had to get some other stuff in. Let me do these birthdays real quick. Happy birthday, Johnnie Cole. That is our special guest that was supposed to be in the first hour. But happy birthday to him, former head coach of Texas Southern University football and current Fort Worth facilities and ticket manager. Tanya Beard celebrating a birthday with Coco Chanel. Happy birthday, Coco. Ed Perry celebrating a birthday with Elise Moore, Iva James, Pastor Sandra Reed, Bridget Butler celebrating her birthday along with Sherry Green, one of my classmates from back in Forest Park, DeWanna Snow, Christy Dotson celebrating her birthday, Anelia Wright Mosley, and Lee Merrill all celebrating birthdays today. And then, of course, let me go to our celebrity birthdays. Y'all remember Big John Riggins, Big John Riggins, running back for Washington. It's his birthday today. Also, you know, we've been talking about track and field. Greg Foster, who was not a bad hurdler back in the days of Ronaldo Skeets Nehemiah, celebrating a birthday today. He won the Olympics the silver medal back in 1984. And Roger Clemens, y'all know Roger. Don't call him Juice. Now, that ain't his nickname. And don't call him Needles, because he don't want that either. He's celebrating a birthday as well. Not many people throw the ball harder than Roger Clemens, or threw the ball harder than Roger Clemens. All right, who else we got? Who else is celebrating a birthday today? Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon, one of the baddest racers out there in the business, celebrating his birthday today. So got to get his birthday in. And Dr. J, can you sing? You gonna sing happy birthday to these people?
No, I will not.
No, you muted, Dr. J. Why you on mute? Why I got you muted? Why for?
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you. I can't. You just don't want to sing. You just don't want to sing.
I'm not muted on my end.
All right, Dr. J, do me a favor. Go out and come back in for me and see if that'll work. And then I see we got a time mixed up with our first hour guest and our second hour guest. We're gonna figure out how to make it work. Let me get a happy birthday in there. Hold on.
Go shawty, it's your birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. Go shawty, it's your birthday. Today's your day. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to all the birthday folks out there. In fact, let me bring this young man on because it is his birthday. We can't see your face. Coach, where you at? Coach, frat brother, where you at? Let us see you for a second. Wish you happy birthday, man. Hold on, let me get Dr. J in here as well. Johnnie Cole, can you hear me? There he is.
What's going on?
There he is. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Very good.
I can't hear you either. What? Maybe it's on my side.
It's all that red we got.
Okay. All right. Let me get Dr. J in there. Dr. J, can you hear you? Let me hear your voice.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear. Dr. J, you got to sing happy birthday to the birthday boy in the middle, the birthday man, none other than Johnnie Cole, former head coach of Texas Southern University. It's his birthday today.
Well, since not everybody can see me, I would mouth it and I would tell you that something was wrong with my mic. I'd be like, you can't hear that? You can't hear that? But no, I have a singing voice for talk radio.
I hear you. You know, before
happy birthday.
You know, before we had these videos and everything, I used to tell people I had a face for radio. And now we've got the cameras in the radio studio, so I have to clean up a little bit and shave and all that kind of stuff. But all right, so we had a little bit of mix up on time. Johnny, I was looking for you first out, but it's okay. We're going to make this work. I got two of the best in their respective parts of the industry joining us on the lunch break for Winning Wednesday. Johnnie Cole, very successful football coach and just man in general. I'll never forget, Jennifer, I sat down with him in his office at Texas Southern.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that he talked about doing was taking the players to church. Mm-hmm. And just literally teaching life skills and it translating out there on the football field to the point where we haven't seen a Texas Southern team like that since.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Cole, that never left me, man. That never left me. My admiration and respect for you went through the roof. Tell me where that came from, where you got that idea that was as valuable as X's and O's with your players.
Well, you know, one of the most famous coaches I know is one named Ruby Cole, which happened to be my mother. And of course, you know, I'm the youngest of 9 boys. So I grew up in a team. And, you know, we're all successful today. We're still very, very close with each other. And a lot of that started right there in church. And she made sure that we were grounded. That was a part of our foundation, the spiritual side of anything that you do. And, you know, today, you know, we kind of have gotten away from that. So, you know, my experience in coaching, I always thought that I wanted to build just not them athletically, but so mentally, spiritually. You know, and the kids, they appreciated that. You know, most went on and graduated from college and becoming fathers themselves. So in that part of coaching, that, you know, I get those calls. You know, I've been getting them today. I started at 5 a.m, getting some of my players calls and just thanking me for you know, sharing that part of myself with them.
Yeah.
So you know, like I said, she's one of the greatest coaches that I've ever seen. They coached 9 boys to success.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're on, especially with Dr. J. Man, she is a top level athlete. She was actually pushing her way to the Olympics back in the 90s. Unfortunately, had an accident. But one thing I know about her, just from based on who she is today, she had strong parents that instilled values and stuff like that in her. And Jennifer, talk about that for you.
Absolutely. You know, I am Christian. I'm Catholic, and Catholics, we have a funny little thing called the Catholic Bible. It's got 4 extra books in it from all the regular other Bibles. But it was very important for me, even when I packed to go away to college, that my Bible was one of the first things I packed.
Wow.
And I did not know how important it was. I think I was so young. I was 17 going off to college, how important it was to have that as an example and that close to me. But I talk about this because it's so important. When I was in college, my father passed away, and you do not understand what life has in front of you. But if you're grounded in your faith, you can get through it. And I just remember that my junior year, I mean, the forces were coming for me. Okay, I was a student activist, so there were a lot of people didn't like what I had to say because I was trying to fight for students of color at Texas A&M.
Wow.
And the forces were coming, and I was grieving the loss of my father, and a lot of people didn't understand that. They didn't know all that was happening. And I just remember at one of the toughest moments, people probably thought I was going crazy this one weekend. I don't think I hardly ate, but I was in my Bible the entire day, the entire Friday, the entire Saturday, the entire Sunday. The few people that knocked at my door, I was literally reading scripture to them. And they probably thought she is a bumbling fool, right? They may have thought that. But there was a moment I closed the book and I said, thank you, Jesus. This is every word you gave me over this time gets me to the next part of this journey. And without it, I would be nothing. And so, you know, it's one of the most valuable things we can teach people is to be rooted in faith. Because so often I think people get lost in being rooted in the wrong things, rooted in Instagram. They in the book of Instagram and you know, the book of TikTok. And they learn their lessons from the wrong places. And when they learn those lessons from the wrong places, then disappointment is right around the corner because those lessons aren't rooted in the right place. And so that was one of the biggest things I could do for my daughter is pass along that firm grip on faith, because I don't know what she may experience. I experienced things I never would have imagined when I was in college. But my faith got me through it. And that's such an important piece for all athletes, because student athletes in particular get pulled in so many different directions that people don't even understand. They have stressors. They're trying to take care of their families sometimes. Sometimes their stipend is helping to pay rent back home where they are. People do not understand. It helps keep athletes, parents, and families' lights on. The simple things. They might be paying for their siblings' lunch money for that week. It's either them or nothing. And so, you know, the stressors that come, being firmly rooted is just simply everything. It is truly a lifesaver.
I appreciate having Dr. Jennifer Thibeaux. We call her Dr. J around here, and Johnnie Cole. And I call him Coach because he's, I mean, again, one of the most phenomenal coaches that I sat down with personally to get a chance to talk to him myself. And the results were out there, not just on the field, but in the lives of those young men. You know, Dr. J, you said something very important, and that's being rooted and grounded in the wrong thing. I get attacked all the time about not having a check mark behind my name or the number of followers that we have on social media, as if we have no credibility because we don't have a check and we ain't got so many followers. And the truth is, I just don't believe in throwing bad information out there or lying about something just to get somebody to follow me. And when we look at what's happening to athletes with name, image, and likeness, Coach, that you can speak to in a second, and then Dr. J with what's happening with, Simone Biles and others overseas, it's almost like these young people, our children, are being treated as commodities and not like our children. I mean, Coach, I wanted to get you on because, we've had several big name coaches that talk about name, image, and likeness, like these kids are just going to go buck wild, and yet they're making millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, but all of a sudden, a couple $1,000s here, a couple $1,000s there, these kids are going to go buck wild. That's a new landscape. How do you see the name, image, and likeness thing, and what effect it will have on our children?
Well, it's basically really, to me, unfair to the smaller colleges or even HBCU as I graduated. My thing was, I kind of feel that kids shouldn't be struggling. It's almost like a big name church where the pastor is making millions living in a mansion, and then half of his congregation is starving.
Right.
So, basically it's going to be some of the same things. What I mean? But I thought maybe they should just pay the athletes some across the board, maybe the Division 1A schools, maybe, a little more than maybe the 1AA and then the Division 2, but let it be across the board instead of turning it loose. I mean, it's turned to loose. And of course, from being an athlete and Dr. J, you being an athlete, these kids gonna get pulled from all kind of ways. It's gonna be all kind of stuff. It's almost like it's a casino, and it's gonna be a lot of underground stuff. And I just think, I think we headed for a disaster with that. Again, I still think that the athletes deserve something, but you at the University of Alabama and you get $1 million contract, and then you at let's just say Texas Southern, and you might not even have a deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you would solve that issue or that problem, but I just think they kind of open the floodgates, and it's going to have to be taken to examine that, and I think it's going to have some restrictions to it.
Yeah. Dr. J, I hate to do this to you. One thing I've always prided myself on is respecting you for who you are, keeping family, what have you. But bear with me for a second. You've got a daughter playing Division I basketball, and she calls and says, "Mom, I got so-and-so wanting to pay me to be the face of, whatever it is, the product or the service is." How do you handle that?
I say great, because she already has Liz Smith LLC. The moment July 1 hit and the rule changed, she incorporated. I say great, we have a mechanism for that. But I also say great because I already put you through the school of Dr. J to understand how to handle business deals, and we have those mechanisms in place. So the Wild Wild West, Coach, you're absolutely correct. The scary part is the change happened and there was no education on how to manage finances. There was no consistent education on what name, image, and likeness means. It's actually on the NCAA website, by the way. It's there. It's all there. I would, not to be too critical, it is not as user-friendly as you would like it to be. But that's the source, right? They made the rule change. You go to them to understand what the rules are. But nobody's even telling people that.
Right.
The conversations are all happening outside of where even the source is the rule, to know what is inside the boundaries and outside the boundaries, because it's not a free for all. You can't get paid to play your sport. Then you are a professional. You're no longer an amateur. So there are some things, Coach, you're right. There are going to be some players that find themselves taking a deal and losing eligibility. And that's the scary part, because there's going to be a lack of knowledge about what the deal is, what the change is, and how to operate. But, we do that with entrepreneurs today, right? A person gets a goodbye package from their company, might be a few thousand, several zeros. They say, great, I'm going to start my own business. But they don't necessarily have knowledge of how to start their own business, so they blow through money. We have the same scenario today in so many different ways. It shows itself. Ultimately, it's a lack of information is what's going to kill it for a lot of athletes.
Well, it's no different. I'm piggybacking piggybacking off of what you're saying is, most of some of these parents don't even have educations. Some of us African Americans are first time college students. And what LLC? They said, well, what's a LLC? Love, laughter, and
LL Cool J. I got it.
They don't even know what that is. Look how many African American athletes don't went on to play professional football, basketball, or whatever that's broke today. Yeah. Because they don't know how to understand what money is. And at 21 years old, you signing a $50 million contract, and within 10 years, you have no money. You owe everybody. And the devil's around you already don't stole all your money because they don't took your money and said, well, I'm investing in some houses and this is and that's. And actually, they giving you the money or gonna give our young kids this money, and we don't know, just to get it right back. Yeah. By the time they finish college. So like she said, I think Dr. J, you hit it on the head. It's definitely got to be some education behind that.
Learn how to count it before you make it.
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely. We got Dr. J joining us. Y'all know her very well, Dr. Jennifer Thibeaux. And we've got Johnnie Cole, one of my favorites in college football coaching and now doing great stuff up there in Fort Worth. And I really appreciate the frankness of the discussion. The question I have now is, where does that education lie? Because when I look at how the NCAA drug their feet and let state legislatures get out in front of them on how to handle things, and then they threw some nonsense together. And like you said, they're not even communicating what's on their own website to their student athletes. Where do you think the responsibility lies? Dr. J, you go first. Coach Cole, you go after that.
Well, I've always said there's nothing like teaching your own, right? Yeah. It is the HBCU concept, right? You can wait for someone else to tell you, or you can educate yourself. That's one thing that we're doing, hopefully doing a really good job on with Chris Dishman, a very handsome man that I happen to know.
You better say that with your chest.
My husband. But with him, we do GOAT Skills LLC, and we educate, and we have webinars where we talk about, here's the full dynamics of what name, image, likeness is. Here's some of the things that you want to consider. We want to educate everybody that says they're interested in being educated, because if you're waiting, I can already tell it's going to be a long wait. Yeah. Because again, the information is actually there. It's solid information on the NCAA site. But even when I asked my own daughter, have you guys had a meeting at your school about this change and shift? And she said no. And I thought, well, it's okay. I mean, I'm teaching her, but we've got to take it upon ourselves that you either know and educate your child. If you don't know, you take the time to find a person like a GOAT Skills, find a group that is educating properly. Not just trying to take your money. This education should be free. Right. The information is on the NCAA site. So somebody charges you for this, walk away.
Yeah, no, I agree. Coach Cole?
Well, first of all, I'd be remiss if I don't tell your husband, Dr. J. First, tell him I apologize for not hiring him when I got the job. And I watched him as a and I know all his friends. So tell him I said hello.
I surely will. And by the way, Coach, he started a Bible study where he is right now at IMG Academy. And it has been the absolute most wonderful experience for both the players, but also for Coach Chris Dishman as well, because it was his first time implementing a Bible study. It's just been wonderful to watch it unfold.
Are y'all interested?
No, we're actually in Florida, and he's coaching at IMG Academy. He's the defensive coordinator for the national team at IMG, the national champion.
He must have
IMG Academy.
Buddy's job, Brett Maxey, but we'll talk about
yes, Maxey, yes.
That's my roommate in college.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome.
But
we're catching up, AJ. Don't worry about it.
No, I love it. I call myself a connector. I find a way to connect good people with good people, and y'all's paths are intersecting all kinds of ways. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, but I see what I would do as a coach, and I'm a Black college graduate, and again, we talk about first generation kids that's going to college, and parents, some parents can't read. My parents, they could read, but they finished 8th grade. That was it. But I would have a seminar. That would be a part of my orientation. Kids, I would have someone there to talk about LLC when they come in, so I could sign them all up, and they'll already be ready. I would bring somebody in to actually discuss that, because one thing about it, these like you said, the stuff is there on the NCAA manual, but the manual is over 300 pages. And of course, I've had my time with the NCAA, and they not just all the way fair. They out for the schools to make the money and to bring the people in, and they kind of step over the small schools who really the one needs to help. Because you don't have the personnel there. You might have one compliance officer. To the big schools, they got 6, 7. They got a compliance officer for each sport.
Correct.
Things don't happen. So, I would drop it on the university as well. Like you said, it's there, but you don't have a lot of parents with doctor in front of their name. You don't have a lot of people in college or some type of business concept in their name. So, as a coach, I definitely would have that would be a part of my orientation.
We got Dr. J, Dr. Jennifer Thibeaux, and also Coach Johnnie Cole joining us here on the lunch break on the legendary KYK. This is Winning Wednesday right here. This information will help people win. I want to change directions real quick, though, because the other part of it that's real prevalent in the news right now is mental health. And we're seeing it in some of the best athletes in the world. It didn't start with Naomi Osaka, but she expressed it. We've had football players, basketball players like Kevin Love, DeMar DeRozan, Paul George, that have talked about their depression and mental health issues. And then we saw it with Simone Biles over in the Olympics. I mean, one of the best gymnasts to ever do it. And again, you got a fan base out there that doesn't get it. You've got prominent sports networks that don't get it. From the standpoint of being a coach who teaches life skills and who cares about these players, not just for what they do, but for who they are, Coach, how would you see yourself addressing what we've seen from a Simone Biles and some of these other great athletes?
Let me say this, and some coaches get seduced by talent. I believe in developing the kid and developing him over winning. And fortunately, I've been winning. As you said earlier, I've won everywhere I've been, and that's what's very important to me. You got to start. Some of this malfunction for some of these athletes starts as a kid. And then some of these people that we're turning loose on our kids that's calling themselves coach, they got to understand first, what is a coach? A coach is a teacher. He's a parent. And these kids are actually being good at early ages, jumping out of the gym, but they make bad grades. I've a AU team over in Fort Worth, and I took a bunch of kids that nobody didn't want, but I disciplined them. I took them to church. I disciplined them. We win a national championship. And that's what happens to these kids. They start at a young age. You're great. You're great. Everybody is pulling them. The parents is pulling them. Everybody is pulling on them because they think they're going to go off and play in the NBA and then make money. And then when they don't, and then when the kids start going to each level, and if you run into a coach like a Johnnie Cole, then now he got problems. And then with the NCAA, they'll open up this portal that you could transfer anytime, anyway.
Yeah.
A kid they'll been to 3 schools in 45 years. Yeah. And then it was the school. No, it's you.
Wow.
You got to change too.
Wow.
And when ESPN did an article on me, Transfer You, back in 2010. And, I had 40 transfers from Notre Dame, USC, Minnesota, LSU, and all those kids came with baggage. And it was my job and that time you didn't have a transfer portal. They could only transfer one time. So when they made that transfer to me, it was do or die.
Yeah.
And I was telling them right then and there, you're gonna become us at Texas Southern. You ain't gonna be LSU here. You know, you're not the only one that's here. This is a team sport. You know, and I'm just speaking of the team sport. So I don't want to go on and on, but that's where all this stuff comes from. It starts as low as Pop Warner, and you got these kids, and almost for the African American athlete, those daddies, it ain't enough fathers around, to help develop these young men into men. Not taking nothing from the women, but women are women and men are men, and not saying that women can't do it, but and even in that case, they don't have that foundation, they don't have that discipline at an early age, and by the time they getting out of high school, it's tough. It's tough, and we just do a better job, I think, at those lower ages to kind of combat some of the mental illnesses that we have.
Dr. J, he brings up a good point when all they've heard is how great they are athletically or how great they are in different, sport discipline, and then life happens. We just found out that Simone Biles' aunt died while she was over in Tokyo. We see Raven Saunders, whose mother died, and she already, expressed her depression and bipolar situation. One thing is what they've done, but the other thing is who they are and how they feel. I mean, what do you think about that?
Absolutely. I think, the Kool-Aid tastes great, but it's a shame when you drink your own Kool-Aid because people only see that part of you. If all you see of me is on television, you've missed so much of who I am. I don't care what great things you may see about me or what bad things you may see about me. You only see a slice of life. And the problem is, to Coach's example, early on, someone didn't explain to them, you are this whole person. So yeah, you might be great right here, but we got to get you great in all these other places. And we have to examine it, not shy away from it, and address it. That's who you are. It's one of the reasons why my parents pulled me out of gymnastics at 7 years old. I had 2 national ad campaigns. I had media coming to my practice, and I'm in the 2nd grade.
Wow.
And they're like, wait a minute, hold on. This might be a little bit too much for a child. And they saw that there could be a breaking point. Mind you, I'm just going with the flow because I started it too. I'm going with the flow. I don't know any better, but it was the best decision. They took me out for a short period of time. Everybody went away, and I could come back and be who I was designed to be in the sport as well as all the way around. But I had 2 parents. I was blessed to have both of them in the home, and I was mama's princess and I was daddy's little fighter. And you get something from each of your parents, and I just firmly believe you need them both. And I think the Holy Trinity is Mama, Daddy, and God. That I feel like that is the Holy Trinity. If you can do that, then when a child is experiencing mental health issues, everyone's connected and will be able to detect it and will be able to honor, love, and support them along that way. You go far back as Serena Williams admitting she had postpartum depression.
Right.
And people couldn't believe. I'm like, well, first of all, she darn near died 2 days after she gave birth. And people don't understand or recognize that. They believe athletes are robots because they only see the performance in a slice. Yeah. And so I am so grateful that Simone could have lied, okay? She could have lied and said it was an ankle problem, a hip problem. She could have lied and never revealed that she had a mental health issue. She could have lied, and everybody could have accepted that. But that's not the truth. The secret of mental health stays a secret, and that means other people suffer in silence because of it. So I'm so grateful that she was bold enough and proud enough in where she was and stood boldly and said, this is where I am. This is what I'm experiencing. And so I choose me. I'm going to support everyone as a team member, but I have to choose me too. I have to be part of the team. I have to choose me too.
Yeah, it's amazing that the team stepped up around her. And everyone that got a chance to step ahead of her because she stepped back got a chance to, spotlight, do well, and carry the team. And, Coach, I want to throw this back at you. I roomed with a kicker at Tulane. And, we out there in practice the whole time. Him and the punter over there on the side, and they just kicking. We get in the game, and he's pulling everything to the left, pulling everything to the left, pulling everything to the left. How do you handle a person that gets a mental block? Simone called it the twisties. In golf, they call it the yips. In other sports, they call it whatever they call it. But when there's a mental block and they just, get stuck in a pattern, how do you as a coach try to work that player through that?
Well, the thing that I try to do is not put a lot of pressure on my players as far as telling them, don't forget that this is just a game.
Wow.
One of the things that I always share with my kids was I don't care about the person under the helmet. I don't care about the helmet. I care about the person underneath the helmet. And I just try to develop and be a part of every part of their lives, so we won't have to get to that point. But one of the things is that if I did have a kid that was not out there mentally, the old simple thing with your mom and dad, you crawl up in their lap and you give them a hug. I've hugged 6'7", 6'8". Look, hey, God, this is just a game, man. So I care more about your grades and I care more about how you feeling today than actually what happened in the game. I kind of, my philosophy is I'm going to do the work before the game on Saturday, and I I'm not no sensational coach, but, I haven't never ran into that, of a kid being prepared to go. If anything, I didn't prepare them the right way, and I'll be the first to take the blame on it.
Coach,
now, AJ, I just have to tell you this.
He got me tingling though. I got to get my tingle in because Coach, that right there, man, that meant everything to me. And I didn't, I'm not going through nothing, but just hearing it and hoping that some parent or some young person is hearing that right there. It's just not always about the score. It's not always about the execution. And football is a dangerous contact sport. If somebody's head is not there mentally, they could really get hurt far beyond that player, that situation. And Jennifer, again, I know you're going to talk about it in gymnastics, man. If you're not mentally there on a 4-inch wide beam, you can do a whole lot of damage. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, absolutely. I was going to say, we didn't have a term called twisties. Twisties, I think, is a term that Simone made up in the moment so people could kind of understand what it was. I have affectionately called it acrobatic vertigo. But I experienced it. I went through a phase. It was like a week and a half. I can't tell you what brought it on, but I would just get lost in the air. And oh my God, like my coach had to save me from landing on my neck. And finally he was like, okay, we got to stop. And he did not have the answer, but he gave me the space to pause and mentally regroup. And that was everything. Crazy little me. You know how I'm old school, okay? So you remember how teachers used to make you write lines? I will not do this, I will not do that. I literally filled up a notebook full of kind of my personal affirmations of how I get myself out of that state of confusion. And I just kept writing lines. So for a week and a half, I would go to practice and pull out my notebook. I wouldn't do gymnastics. I would just write lines. It was my way to focus. It was my way to calm and quiet everything. And there is no formula for the amount of time, but the coaching staff loving on you, saying it's okay to be where you are right now, and we're going to allow you to the time that you need to get into the space you need. That's everything.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, just to piggyback off of both what you guys said, and the reason why, I've been, I haven't had to deal with that. I'll kind of run my program where, we're touching every base of the young man or the young woman to develop them. I don't, we gonna dress a certain way. I tell my players that we're gonna dress a certain way when we travel. We're gonna do. So I kind of take away some of the social media stuff. We would, make sure our hair is cut, our beards are trimmed and cut, and make sure we're gonna wear slacks on the bus. I kind of cut out all the stuff to make them focus. That's the biggest thing that I found by coaching on all the levels. I've coached, of course, in the NFL down to Pop Warner, is taking all those little things out that can deter your mind from focusing on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
So, and let me say this, now I fought some players. I mean, I've had my rounds with some kids that just didn't want to turn. And one of the things that I've always established and told my players, if there's no respect, then there's no relationship. And if there's no relationship, then you on the wrong football team.
Yeah. Coach, I got to tell you, I hate to do this. We got to go. I got to have y'all come back, though. I have to have y'all back. Coach, I got to throw something out at you, man. I did not know. And if I had asked the right questions back when I sat in your office, we could have got this out the way. You went to Dayton Dunbar High School.
Yes, I did.
I went to Forest Park High School, about 30 minutes south of you.
Oh, wow.
I ran track. I ran hurdles, and there was some cats at Dayton Dunbar who were like them Jamaican girls. You just couldn't catch them to save your life. They were going to be first, second, and third. You can just fit in when you get in after that. But, hey, man, you came from great stock there in Dunbar High School.
Yeah. I've had a nephew play pro ball in NBA named Norris Cole. You know, he played with LeBron now.
Mm-hmm.
Other nephew played with the Philadelphia Eagles named Trent Cole. He was with the Eagles in the Colts. And, you know, my brother, LC, went to University of Nebraska and was the first African-American coach. First African-American captain on the football team. So I've had some super examples in front of me. So, you know, I don't have that story that I was lonely sitting over in the corner and wasn't sheltered. I was sheltered. I tell anybody, you know, when I go around and speak, you know, I had no other choice but to be successful. And it's a lot of pressure in that as well. Yeah. You know, I know my children kind of feel some of the pressure from coming behind me, but, you know, I try to let them know I'm going to love you anywhere it goes.
Yeah.
Dr. J, did you go to school with our new president? Dr. Crumpton Young.
Who?
Leslie Crumpton Young. She's the new president. She's a Texas A&M graduate.
I have to check. That name is familiar, but I'm not sure. So I was at Texas A&M 92 to 96.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, you missed a lot of guys that I know. So.
Mm-hmm.
and Coach, there was a family of Brown boys up there at Dayton Dunbar. Larry Brown. Them cats were track.
His grandmother lived right next to me. We grew up together in the same alley running. Larry Brown went to Tennessee. Yeah.
Let me just say, Dr. J, with those names, you almost have to genuflect because I'm telling you.
Yes, that's right.
Football, track, basketball, they ran it. So listen, we got to get ready to go. Please tell Queen Elizabeth, tell my brother Chris, I said, hey, and remember to tell him that Coach said he should have hired him back.
Yes, I'm going to tell him that when he comes home.
Yeah. I remember Chris giving me a call, but, you know, hell, hey, it is what it is.
Coach, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you on social media.
I'm at johnnycole.tsu at gmail.com. I'm on Instagram, coldblooded9, and that'll be it. Oh, I'm on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Listen, and don't forget to throw the yo, because you know you got that going.
Well, I got some things that aren't in the fire, man. You know, I might be back.
Well, listen, I'm gonna be calling you back, so we will have to get it going. And tell your son, keep up the good work over there at Texas Southern. I'm looking forward to seeing him do great things there. Dr. J, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you.
Yep, at Jen Thibeaux everywhere there is social media, but I'm not on TikTok because I don't do that.
Dr. J, we have to have
but I
you
don't
back.
shop.
We got to have you back next week so we can talk more about these Olympics and the stuff that you had to say about it. But both y'all, thank y'all so much for making the time today. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Yo, Doc. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. We got to get ready to go. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on here real quick. Y'all be sure and have and follow these folks as I really appreciate both of them for taking the time to come on and to spend time. I'm telling you, if you have not checked out Johnnie Cole, you got to do it. And y'all already know how amazing Dr. J is. Boy, that just made my day. Some of the things they shared were just absolutely amazing. And that's why they are the best in their respective disciplines. So, man, this worked out. This really worked out. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on to give us her COVID update. And as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Wear your mask where you're supposed to. Wash your hands like you're supposed to. And, give people their social distance and consider getting vaccinated. And more than anything, when you see that racism or bullying, just kill it. Not the person or the people, but the racism and the bullying. How do you kill it? You don't be a part of it. You don't be a part of it. And you check people that try to make it a part of your life. All right. As always, y'all, not this, but definitely this. Here's Sybil Wilkes, Donnie McClurkin after that on the lunch break. We'll see you tomorrow for Throwback Thursday.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. President Biden and congressional Democrats locked in a stalemate